Welcome back. You may remember at the end of the last show we said that this week we were going to be at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Well, sadly, some of that event was cancelled due to extraordinarily high winds. Why go to that kind of gas-guzzling event anyway, you might ask? Well, because this year they're showcasing the potential of synthetic fuels, which are being touted by some as the saviour of the internal combustion engine.
But here he is now, going up in this iconic car.
Is this motorsport without the climate guilt? Powering up Goodwood's iconic hill climb, the engine is running on efuel, a synthetic blend made from hydrogen drawn from water and carbon from the air. Four-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel is behind the wheel and the change.
The world is changing, so we don't have to give up on these things. We can still hold on, but do it in a more responsible way.
Doing the donuts. Much of our attachment to the engine comes from its proud position in our heritage, lovingly displayed at the Brooklands Museum. But even here, they are thinking of sneaking in changes under the bonnet.
We started having some conversations with some synthetic fuel manufacturers last year. I guess for museums, because of the irreplaceability of our collections and because we need to be very careful about risk, we're probably going to be more followers than leaders in that area.
When it comes to the legacy of the internal combustion engine and what we know now, do you feel conflicted?
I guess in some ways, in that I wish the world wasn't here, and some of the things that were developed at Brooklands have contributed to that. On the other hand, I think Brooklands showed that challenges can be overcome, that new solutions can be found, that things can be improved.
I get it. I get the nostalgia. I love sitting in here. I have huge admiration for the design and the engineering brilliance. The question is, what place does the internal combustion engine have in our future? There is only one company in the UK who are actually making synthetic fuels. Hi, thanks for having me in. This is an amazing place. Paddy Lowe is something of a legend in the high-octane world of Formula One. He's had top technical roles with big teams, clocking up an impressive 12 world championships. Now he's opening a cleaner chapter with zero petroleum, producing what they say is a completely emission-free liquid fuel.
So we have solar panels bringing energy down from the sun into these units, where we split water into its constituents, into H2 and oxygen.
But that's just the start. They still need the carbon part, and for that they're planning to pull it from the atmosphere using direct air capture, another energy-hungry process. Despite this facility not being finished, these synthetic fuels are already being made and used for real, with plans for a full-scale plant by 2025.
So Tom, we are going to show you the running of a model jet engine, and it's burning our synthetic jet fuel. You probably better wear some earplugs, and we better back off.
We'll back off. Oh,
yeah.
Retreat now.
Okay. There you go. Just like an airport.
Zero petroleum has been tested in the sky too. Along with the RAF, they hold the Guinness World Record for the first flight powered on synthetic fuel. But apart from planes and chainsaws, where is synthetic fuel going?
It's more a question of where will it not be used, actually, to be honest. Everywhere we use fossil fuel today is a very great candidate for synthetic fuels. In fact, we see a day in a few decades where all of the fuel we use today that comes out of the ground from oil wells will be delivered as synthetic, will be made industrially from air and water. The industry will be no smaller, will be larger than today, in fact.
So you really think the synthetic fuel business could be as big as the oil and gas business today?
Correct.
Wow, that's quite a claim.
Because we are highly dependent on these liquid fuels.
But the advertised price of one of these 20-litre cans is £50,000. That figure will drop, but it's likely to remain a costly solution.
I mean, everything new is expensive to start with. You know, the first motor car was horrifically expensive compared to running a horse and cart. We model that we will be making fuel at the same cost as fossil fuel today within a decade.
So this ultra-clean, very modern warehouse could be the start of something, well, globe-trotting.
Yeah, we see this as really the start of something huge. You know, our staff are so excited and passionate about what we're doing here because we're really here to start changing the world.
And Paddy isn't the only one whose background has a high carbon count. Zero has 44 members of staff, some from F1 and others from the oil and gas sector, wanting to use their skills to make a difference to the world.
It rather takes out the carbon dioxide from the environment, and then we are utilizing it to make something beneficial to the society. So it gives me that guilt-free to just to know that I'm doing something right to kind of add to the environment. If not damaging it, at least I'm saving the world in my own way.
While synthetic fuels could be the answer to decarbonising old classics and possibly motorsport,
No, I absolutely love watching Formula One. Yeah.
most experts say the physics and economics of synthetic replacements present a huge hurdle.
I see synthetic fuels as having a role in some sectors that are harder to decarbonise, like aviation. I don't really see a role for them in powering cars of the future. It sounds simple. You take hydrogen from water, you take carbon from the air, and you combine them together and produce e-fuels. But it actually requires huge amounts of energy. In fact, from producing electricity to powering a car, you need 5 times as much electricity to produce e-fuels than you do just simply putting electricity into the battery of an electric vehicle and letting it go on its way. And that means 5 times as many wind turbines, solar panels, and that costs a lot of money.
Museums and airlines might bear that cost, but cars on your driveway, that seems a long way off. Well, in contrast to those